Tabitha Brown. Girl.
Hey, girl.
Girl. Girl. Now, when you
Listen.
walk through the door, I
Yeah.
wanted to jump up and down and shout because I've not had a moment, with you one-on-one
Yeah.
since Tabitha Brown became Tabitha and Donna and Target and McCormick's.
Oh.
And,
I know, right?
right?
A lot has
Right?
happened.
The precipice of your success started in the car.
Yep.
In the car.
Did.
And I remember on my radio show with Donna Michi, we saw you in that car and we played it on air.
Yeah.
And then you played us playing it on air.
'Cause I was like, they talk about you on the radio. I was like, oh my Lord. Yeah, I remember
And I'm
that.
like, well, she in a space now, but she don't care if she on the radio.
Yeah.
I fast forward like maybe 5, 6, 8 years after all of this success you've amassed.
Yeah.
You played it again just to remind the people, and I would imagine yourself,
Absolutely.
of where you came from.
Look at how far God has brought me.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. May we never forget.
Never forget
That's
where you
right.
came from.
That's right.
Never forget.
Yeah.
I started this podcast because during the pandemic, I got extremely depressed. And I suffered a bout of depression. And every time I saw somebody happy, I would be like, how the hell am I supposed to be happy? We're in a pandemic. People are dying. People are losing their jobs. You can't go outside. And mind you, I want to be, full disclosure. I had 2, 3 jobs at the time. So I was not even one of those people who were put out of work. I was getting more work. No one in my family had passed on because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't understand why I was in such a sunken place. And every time I looked and somebody smiled or was happy, I was like, how the hell am I supposed to be happy? And I thought, I got to do something for me. And that was to find out how to be happy again. And that's why I did this podcast. I would love to say that I did it for the people.
Right. But it's for you.
But I did it for me.
I'm glad that you'd rather say you did it for you instead of loving to say you did it for the people.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Good for you.
Because I do want to know how people end up being happy after a time of, of misery or a time of discomfort. And so I start by asking you, what is the worst moment that you've had to face in your life?
There have been a few, but I do think 2. One is watching my mother pass, and also thinking I was going to die, right? Thinking I would never see 40. Being very sick and in a dark place, also in a very deep depression. It's not fun. It was a very
So
dark
let's
time.
let's talk about you feeling like you were going to die. Why would you feel that way? What was it?
I was physically sick, right? So 2016 to 2017, I was battling autoimmune, an attack on my body that the doctors couldn't figure out why it was happening. I had a headache in the back of my head for 1 year and 7 months. It would cause me to lose my vision for a day. I began to fall when I would walk. I had chronic fatigue, chronic pain throughout my body. It would be, some days would be all right, but it was always present. Some days would be better than others. But I just could not get well. I was getting shots in my head, shots in my spine. I was taking prednisone. Any type of medicine they would offer me, I was a guinea pig with no results. And when I started to, I remember one time after they gave me one of the shots, I lost strength in my hand. And so I couldn't even hold my phone. And I remember when my mama's disease, ALS is what my mother passed from. I remember when she started to have those symptoms. And ALS is terminal. There's no cause and there's no cure.
Right.
And so I was like, I got ALS. I know I'm about to die like my mama did.
How old was your mother when she passed?
51.
And so you thought...
I thought I got early onset. That was one of the things that I thought. And it took, when my mama first started getting sick, Hers started like she would just get off balance. So she would go back and forth to the doctor, and they kept telling her she had vertigo or inner ear. And she was like, okay, but heat would make it really bad for her. And so then it was also like she said she could feel her hand jumping in the inside. And so she went to the doctor again, and the doctor told her it's all in your head. You're just stressed. There's nothing wrong with you. And so I thought, okay, it took them 11 months. The same doctor that told my mama it was all in her head, it's the same doctor 11 months later that had to tell her she had 2 years or less to live.
Wow.
And so I thought, she actually told my mama 6 months to 2 years. And so I thought, if it took them 11 months to tell my mama what's wrong, and here I am going on 16 months plus, and they still can't tell me what's wrong with me, I'm going to die. Something is wrong.
How do you go from telling a patient it's all in your head to, oh, you got about 6 months to 2 years to live? How does that happen?
Yeah.
What did the doctor say about that?
What do they say? I mean, listen, Black women are all like, we are the number one person that is not listened to at the doctor's office out of everybody. You know, we are looked at as we should be strong enough to endure. Our pain, when we say we're in pain, is not taken serious.
Yep.
We have more fatalities in births.
Absolutely.
Right? Misdiagnosis all the time when it comes to cancer, especially like uterine cancer. All those things, it's like we're not listened to. So it wasn't abnormal for them not to listen to my mama.
Yeah. And so when you felt like this is it, did you go get tested for ALS?
So the thing about that is the last result, because they did I went to a neurologist several times, and they would say, well, no, you're passing all of the standard tests for neuromuscular disease. And the only test you can get after all of those would be a spinal tap. And it's very, very painful. And they were like, there's no reason for us to do that because you're passing all the other ones. And so I never got a spinal tap. Yeah.
But you're here today.
I am.
So what happened?
I went vegan, right? I watched
So
it.
that was the catalyst.
That's what made me go
to you going vegan.
Yes.
That was the TTL.
Right, yeah, the TTLA, yeah.
XL lemon and peach. That was the sandwich in the car while you Uber.
Absolutely. Yeah, I thought I've done everything the doctors told me to do and I ain't getting no results, right? So I watched What the Hell. My daughter watched it at school and she came home and was like, Mom, we watched this documentary. I think you should watch it. And it was on Netflix.
Right.
And so we watched it together as a family. And so when they started talking about not all diseases are hereditary, sometimes you can eat the same thing that can cause the same disease in your family. I was like, well, at that time, my mama had died at 51 of a rare disease. My daddy was 65. He's the oldest man to ever live in our family. He's 73 now. And all my aunts, I have so many aunts that had open heart surgeries and pacemakers and uncles who had all passed away early, before 50s, and they, very, very young. And everybody got sick young. And I was like, well, the only thing that I could think of is that we have in common is how we eat. But I wasn't a terrible eater, but I didn't used to eat to feel well. I used to eat to look a certain way. And that's a sickness all in itself, right?
I don't think people realize that.
It is.
I don't think people realize that you said a word right there.
Yeah. We in LA, we in Hollywood.
Good.
We trying to.
You gotta slim it down, baby. You gotta slim it down. You gotta perm your hair. You gotta do all that.
All the things. And so I was like, let me try this and see. So for 30 days, I decided to do a vegan challenge. And in the first 10 days, the headache I had every day for 1 year and 7 months disappeared.
In the first 10 days?
The first 10 days. You know how you've been in pain for so long? You don't even recognize you're not in pain anymore. I remember walking in my kitchen and was like, my head not hurting. When did it stop hurting? I was like, I called my husband. I was like, my headache is gone. First 10 days.
It's funny because sometimes when I work out a lot and I'm on my health kick.
Yeah.
And you're right. It only takes a couple of weeks.
Yeah, your body responds.
And I remember not long ago dropping it like it's hot. And I was like, I can drop it. You still got it. Where was I? I can drop it I can't drop it right now, though. I ain't been on no health kick.
And that's your business, though.
There it is.
It is.
But when you felt like you were dying, what were the thoughts that were going through your head?
who is going to raise my children?
Oh,
My prayer was like, God, please don't let me leave here. And I love my husband, but he can't do it by himself. I need to be here for my children. That was my main concern. I even, because they couldn't diagnose me with anything, every time I went to the doctor, nothing was ever, they could never say, you have this. So I told my husband, I was like, I don't have anything to leave these kids and you. Before they diagnose me with something and I die, we need to take out a $1 million insurance policy. And that's what we did. And I still have that policy. I took it out just so if I died, my kids would have something.
so this was before you started making millions of dollars.
Correct.
That you were like, I don't
Yep.
have anything for the kids. We've got to do
Absolutely.
something. Something that a lot of Black people don't do.
Yeah. But we did it because and it wasn't expensive because I didn't have any health issues on paper.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when you talk to your husband about the ailments, how did he take it? What was his point of view?
Well, in the beginning, I hid it from my husband.
How long?
It was about maybe about 4 or 5 months. I didn't tell. He knew I was having these headaches and stuff. Because I even worked with it for a while. I would still go to work. I still had a 9 to 5. So it started January 2016. I didn't go on disability until June of 2016.
Right.
And it wasn't until one night I collapsed in the bathroom and he had to pick me up and put me back in the bed. And that's when I had to tell him, like, this is what I think I have. And he immediately was like, babe, you don't have ALS. You don't. I was like, I'm something is wrong. Like it's more than a headache. I'm losing my balance. I had started to fall. Like I would still try to work out and stuff because I was like, oh, if I just work out,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get stronger. I had fell at the gym. I had passed out in the sauna at the gym one time.
So you've been passing out
Oh yeah.
and falling.
Things. Oh yeah.
Why didn't you tell your husband? What was the...
Because he was a police officer at the time, and it was such high stress. That was one reason.
You were protecting him.
I was protecting him, but also I had fear because my mama, when she got sick, her husband, because my mama and daddy had both remarried, he didn't take her sickness well, and he got angry, and so I thought my husband would get upset for me getting sick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I
That's
didn't want to
something.
endure that.
Yeah.
What I saw my mama have to endure.
It's something how our past experience really dictate how we handle situations.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And we go into you know, I have been a people pleaser the majority of my life, right? And it's something that I struggle with now, trying to not please people, right? God has blessed me in a way to like free me of that, but it's still something I have to be intentional about.
Right.
But when you go into this journey of sickness, you still are trying to please everybody else. It's like you don't want, I don't want nobody to feel bad for having to take care of me. I don't want them to be upset for me being sick. I don't want them to think it's gonna mess up their life. I saw my mama do that. Even with me and my sister, I showed up for my mama. Like I had just moved to LA. I was only here, I moved October. By the next June, she got diagnosed with ALS. But when I left, she was already sick, but we didn't know.
Didn't know what it was.
Right, we thought it was vertigo. We
Right.
just thought she had inner ear infection. That's what they kept telling her. I would have never left if I had knew, which is why she always used to tell me, that's why God had to make sure you was gone before they could diagnose me, because you had to leave.
Right. Was this the first time you left or the second
It
time?
was the second time.
Okay.
Yeah, but this was the time she told me, you won't come back this time. The first time she told me, you'll be back. you coming on back. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, right. But yeah, it was actually my third time. The first time I went to college in Miami, came back home, then left and moved to Orange County, came back home, and then moved to LA.
And she said you won't come
She
back
said this time you won't come back.
When you say you watched your mom die, what do you mean by watch? Do you mean that in a literal sense?
Yes, in the room with her when she took her last breath, she actually, so with ALS you are completely paralyzed in your body. You're trapped in your body by the end, right? And you can no longer talk. You can no longer use any muscles in your body. Your muscles basically go to sleep. So your brain connects with your nervous system, and it tells your nervous system what to do. So how I'm moving my hands right now, that's because my brain is telling it to do so. So it's a natural thing.
Right.
You lose whatever that little connection is that relays the message, it's like it goes out like a fuse. And so hers started with her hand. So her hand was the first thing to go. So at first they told her it was carpal tunnel.
Right.
And so she was wearing a brace on her hand, right? And so when I remember they sent her to a carpal tunnel doctor, and it was in Charlotte. When she took the brace off, the lady took one look at her, one look. She said, "This is something going on with your brain. This is not carpal tunnel."
Did she say what the look was?
Because she was already losing muscle in her hand. It was flattening. It was starting to flatten like a pancake. Because see, this is full because it's muscle. But when you have ALS, everything starts to flatten out, and then you can no longer use it. So ALS starts with a limb, or if it's bulbar onset, it starts with your vocal box, right? It starts here, it kills you quicker.
Right.
So here, if it starts here, you might have 6 months. Because hers started with her limb, she was able to live almost 3 years. So it traveled here, and then it went to the right leg.
How long was she in the hospital?
She was at home. The only time.
Oh, you watched her?
No,
at home.
At the end.
So
she was in the hospital at the end. At the very end, she was in the hospital because she ended up getting pneumonia. Because your lungs are a muscle.
Right.
And so she was already on a ventilator for her last year. Like my mama died twice, September 2006, and then the next September 2007 is when she actually left and went home. So she
died twice.
Yeah.
We can't just overlook that.
No, I know.
Died twice.
So 2006 of September, I was working at Macy's here in Century City. I was on my way to work. I just came back because I would take leaves at a time, 6 weeks, LOAs from your business. And I routinely talked to my mama every morning. And on the way to work, she sounded very winded and like she was struggling a little bit. I said, "Mom, how you feel?" She said, "I don't know. I just feel like somebody's standing on my chest a little bit." And I said, "Well, we know with ALS, the lungs do weaken, that maybe you just need to rest a little bit more." And I had just left. I had flew home that Sunday. We're talking like it's Monday or so, right?
Right.
And I got to work, and I told her I'd talk to her later. Maybe 2 hours later, I get a frantic call from my stepdaddy, and he's screaming, and he was like, "We lost your mama." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And he was like, "They taking her like in the ambulance, but she not breathing." And so my sister called me, and she's frantic, saying that like they said Mama passed, and I was like, "I just talked to her." And I'm not ready at this moment. I'm not ready to process that. And so I'm sitting at my desk, and the doctor calls, and she says, "Listen, we just put your mama on life support, but we're going to just keep her on life support until you can get here to say your goodbyes."
Ooh.
And I was like, I'm not ready for my mama to go just yet, right? And I'm trying to process it. I called my husband and tell him. I called my best friend Peaches, who is still my best friend. That's been my best friend since 7th grade. Because I didn't have money. I had just spent money to go home and just came back. So I was like, I can't even afford a flight to go home. And so I called Peaches, and I was like, "Mama's, they said she gone, and I got to go home. They gonna leave on life support." Like I'm thinking, even now when I think about it, I don't even know how I made it from Macy's to my house because I was driving. And she bought me a ticket, and I got home. My husband met me at the house, and he had packed me a little bag. And I got to the airport, and the whole time I was just thinking, I'm about to go home and say goodbye to my mama. Like, I can't believe that this is it. Like, I thought I had more time. And when I got, so many things happened. Just even in that moment, my mama's favorite person was Patti LaBelle. She loved Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle ended up being on my flight. She was sitting in first class.
Girl.
And when I walked on, and I had the last seat on the plane, the whatever 37B, whatever it was, was by the bathroom.
Right.
But I remember I was a mess, just tears. And I remember getting on the plane, and She looked at me and winked at me, and I broke because I was almost thinking like, is that my mama's spirit just letting me know like I'm all right? Like you just saw the person I love, you know? And my mama's name is Patricia. And so I sat in the back of the plane and I cried and I said, okay, I'm gonna have to gather myself and go to this hospital and say goodbye to my mama. And when I got there, it was like maybe 1 a.m. And she was at the hospital in Reedsville, which is Ann and Penn.
Yeah.
And so when I walked in, my sister came to get me at the airport. She said, Mama opened her eyes. I said, what do you mean? She said, I think she's waiting on you. And I was like, so is she aware? Like, and she was like, yeah, I think so, but she was intubated, so she couldn't talk. So, you know, the tube is down her throat now. And so I was prepared to see the worst. I get in there, and she's swollen. She's so swollen, and I was like, this don't look like my mama, you know? And I'm sitting at the edge of her bed, and she wakes up, and she looks at me and rolls her eyes. She was like, oh. Like, what, girl, what you doing here? And I was like, Mama, you died today. Why would I not be here? If it was the other way around, you would be right here.
Right.
And she was like, all right. And so we had this little chart that was the alphabet because when somebody is intubated, they can't talk. So they have to point to, you know,
The letters to spell the word. Right.
So she pointed, had me, you know, point to take my picture. And I was like, Mama, you don't look good. You don't want to see this. You don't look good. And she said, she spelled out, nobody's going to believe it when I get through it. And so I took her picture. And by the next day at 6 o'clock in the evening, she looked like nothing had ever happened to her. She was still intubated, but all the swelling was gone. She was just bright and like she was okay, with the exception that she couldn't breathe on her own. Now, I had power of attorney over my mother because my stepdaddy had checked out. And the agreement that she and I had is she never wanted to be, she didn't ever want a trach.
Right.
And when the doctors came in, they said one of her lungs had collapsed. And her only option was to be on a trach and she would be on life support. And so I immediately was like, I know my mom ain't gonna want that, which means if they take off this machine,
She's gone.
she's gone. And so she said, I'm gonna get it. I said, but Mama, I just want to remind you, as power of attorney, you told me you never wanted to be on a trach. You didn't want to be on a machine that is gonna breathe for you. And she said, on the little chart, she said, God told me I'm not done yet. I still got work to do. And so I said, okay. So we had her shipped to Baptist, and they did a trach. So before they did the trach, doctors came in and they said, because she has ALS and because one lung is collapsed, when we give her this, she'll never be able to speak again. She'll never be able to eat again. So you have to understand that this is the life. And they were talking over her. So you, the doctors, I'm here.
And she's
my
here.
Uncle, right, my sister, she's here. And the whole time they talking, she like this. Shaking her head.
She like, they think they God.
Exactly. And we got the chart and she said, God said no. And I said, she wants to trade. We're fine with it, whatever. So it was supposed to take about, I think 4 hours or so. And then recovery was like another 2 hours. So we were all gonna be waiting for like 6 hours in the waiting room. After, it was like 2.5 hours, no more than 3. Doctor came in the waiting room, which scared us. And he was just perplexed. And he was like, I don't know what to tell y'all, but y'all can come in and see her. And we was like, well, what is it? He was like, I don't know. And so we walk in, she's got her trach in, and she said, hey, Tabitha. It's as clear as I just said it. And I have not heard her voice because she was intubated for, it was about 3 weeks.
So she didn't sound like, hey, Tabitha.
She could push the air through it. And she figured out instantly And she said, I want some mashed potatoes
Girl.
and some gravy.
That's
From KFC to be specific.
That KFC be coming in handy when you're sick. I ain't gonna lie. I
That's
feel
what
her
she
on that.
said,
I feel
yeah.
on them KFC mashed
And-
potatoes when you just done died and went to heaven
And they came on back, right? And so, and they also inserted a feeding tube into her stomach because they said she'd never be able to eat again. My mama, we went and got her potatoes and gravy. She ate without an issue.
Ate through her mouth.
Through her mouth. Through her mouth. She ate, she spoke, and did all of that until May of the next year. She started to lose her ability to talk. She could whisper a little bit. And so then the next September, that whole year I always say she stayed for me. It was my year to
Evolve.
get a better understanding of life.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah,
And of the gifts that I have and that my mother had as well. But that 1 year was so much that I learned about myself, but also about my mama. But also about your assignment, right? I watched my mama go through this and never complain. Never complain. She was smiling every day. Never complained. She said, this is my assignment. God trusted me with this.
What is the assignment in that?
Her faith, me watching her, other people watching her live through this without complaining, understanding that her faith never wavered. She was ready.
Ooh.
It was like, when I'm going through something, what am I to complain about? My mama couldn't walk, couldn't talk, couldn't bathe herself, couldn't feed herself. Never once complained. It was bigger than her, and she understood that. She understood that, and I learned from that.
That's a hard assignment to understand.
It is. Oh, absolutely. Going through it, watching my mama go from this beautiful woman who would have died for them shoes right there. She loves high heels so much so that she made us put them on her in her wheelchair and cross her legs, because she couldn't even cross her legs anymore, so she would make us cross her legs.
Mama was in the wheelchair with
Baby.
the stilettos on.
She would be in her hospital bed. She'd say, put my heels on. And she would be in the bed with her high heels on in her hospital bed. And she had planned her whole funeral, right? I didn't know this, but when she came out here, she came to visit me one time when we first moved here. So in August of 2005, she came because she said, I got to come out there to see. And she had been diagnosed that June.
Okay.
So she came. She was like, I want to see where you're going to be living. This is where you're going to spend your life, because God told me you're not coming back this time. This is where you're going to be. And this is where all your dreams going to come true, and I got to come and see. And so we went shopping downtown in the alley in the garment district and stuff.
Yeah.
So they had, they had
Fancy street.
Right. And then they got on the other side where all the suits and stuff is sold. So they got where all the first ladies be going shopping. And my mom was a pastor. Okay. So my mama, we went down there and she was wanting to buy all these suits. And at this time, she could walk a little bit, but she was still in a wheelchair. She couldn't walk distance. So I had to push her in a wheelchair. And so she got this red suit because she was celebrating her 50th birthday. So she got that. She got a white suit because she was actually doing her trial sermon.
Okay.
She got this beautiful purple suit. And I said, well, what is this one for? She said, I don't know, I just like that. I didn't know that she had bought that for her funeral.
She knew exactly why
she knew exactly what she was doing. And so she had all this stuff planned. And in her, when the man came from the funeral home to the house after she passed, he said, I'm here to read this letter to y'all. And so she said, Tab, that purple suit that I got you asked me about, that's what I want to be buried in. But I didn't never have a chance to find.
I'm about to get up and walk up out of here.
She said, I didn't ever have a chance to find silver high heels, so I need y'all to go find me some silver heels. Because the custom casket that I have, they're going to be able to see my heels at the funeral. And they got to match this suit. You know that same casket Aretha Franklin had? That's what my mama had. Before Aretha, my mama had that. She had everything customized. Paid.
So you could see your mama's shoes
could see her
in her casket.
heels. She lived by it. That was her thing.
Girl.
Yeah.
All right now,
Absolutely.
mama.
So that was that September. She lived the next year. And I remember I used to live right here in Baldwin Hills in Don Tomaso, but across the hill, they got the big hill.
The Dons.
Yeah. They got the hill you can go up, and then they got the little paths that you can walk in. So I would go out there and run the hill and run and work out. And I remember it was Wednesday. I was going home already, because, or it was Monday. I was going home already that Thursday because it was our 10-year class reunion.
Okay.
And so me and my husband, we grew up together, so we was going home for reunion, go see my mama. And so when I was running, I could hear her eulogy. And I was like, I think my mama about to pass. So when I got home, I told my husband, I said, I think when we go home, it's going to be the last time I see mama. He said, why you say that? I said, I heard her eulogy. I heard people, like a pastor, like giving her eulogy. And he was like, well, have you talked to her? I was like, oh, I called and checked and, she was all right, but I don't know. I just got a feeling. And so Wednesday, she ended up going to the hospital. She had pneumonia. Mm-hmm. We flew in Thursday. When I got there that night, I went on to the hospital and stayed at the hospital. I slept. So when I woke up that Friday morning,
right.
She couldn't talk anymore. She could move her lips and her eyes. That's all she had left at the end. And she looked at me and she said, I said, you going home on Sunday? I said, oh, did the doctors come here while I was asleep and tell you that they was gonna let you go home Sunday? And she said, I'm going home on Sunday. And I said, are you telling me you want me to take you off the machine? And she said it was time. And so I had to call the doctors in and I told the doctors, I said, my mama wants to be taken off the machine. And she looked so good. I said, but mama, you look good. Like you don't even look sick, especially that next day.
Right.
She was like, you tell everybody if they want to see me, they better come today or tomorrow because Sunday I'm going home. The Lord has told me it's time. And on Sunday, when the doctors came in, they said, listen, we don't advise y'all to have a lot of people in here because she's been on the ventilator for a year and because she's very weak from the ALS, she's going to go into convulsions. She's going to, probably have seizures. It's just not going to be
ugly.
A pretty sight.
Right.
And my mama said, like, no, I want my family in here. That's not going to happen. And my mama, as well as myself and my sister, we sleep with our eyes open. It's just part of who we are. And
I don't even know how to get into that one.
I know.
To this day, you sleep with your eyes open?
I do. If I'm in a very deep sleep,
the eyes be wide
they open. And my mama's eyes, like I'm talking to you, is how her eyes was. I always say because we see more when we sleep than when we're awake because the way the gift is.
Yeah.
And so that Sunday, she wanted everybody, all our family was there, people from the church, her pastor, everybody. We were singing, doing all the things. So they turned the monitor off and, took her off. My mama it was so peaceful when she died that we didn't even know she was gone. Hmm. We had no idea. We had no idea that she didn't even gasp for her last breath. The last thing she did, so my mom and daddy were the best of friends, even though they, divorced. But they were together for 25 years, and they only had 2 children, me and my sister.
Right.
So when we was growing up, my dad, he swear he could sing, honey, right? So at church, he would lead all the songs and stuff in the middle chorus. And how you laughing is how my mama, listen, okay. he do a little something. Now, my daddy, you do a little something, okay, daddy? I love you singing, okay? But my mama would get so tickled when he was singing at church. She'd be like, your daddy think he Luther Barnes, girl. Like, it was always a joke. Like, she would always laugh. So we had people in there singing. My daddy was there and my stepmom. My daddy started to sing a song. And my mama, her last thing she did was this. I said, girl, no, you're not laughing when daddy trying to sing you out of here. That's the last thing she did. She literally got tickled that he started singing. And the next thing you know, the nurse came in and said she's been gone for about 8 minutes. And we were still in there.
And nobody knew.
None of us knew. That's how peaceful it was. It's like, doctors, they have their jobs to do.
Right.
But the ultimate job is not theirs.
It's not.
But going through it, it was still something that, to witness. It was probably the best and worst thing I've ever experienced. Mm. Mm-hmm.
The best and worst.
Yeah.
The worst because you lose your mother.
Absolutely.
But why the best?
It taught me when it's your time, right? But also, my mama was so happy. She was so full of joy that day. I was like, man, when you know your assignment is done, God is welcoming you home, and you ready, there's no sadness. It was pure joy that she had. I remember even thinking, I was like, Mom, are you sure you want me to? Because you look good, girl.
Right.
It was almost like he restored her just.
And I wonder, when you say that, when you speak of how great she looked, and at the same time her saying, I'm going home, I'm wondering, since she died before, were you thinking, no, you good. You didn't die the first time. You ain't supposed to die this time. Was it that thought ever cross your mind?
I don't think so. I think I thought for a moment, like, what if she don't die when they take off the machine? I did think that, right? Like, and I knew if she kept living, then it was meant for her to still be here.
Right.
But she was so sure that God had already given her. Like, she didn't say on Friday. She said on Sunday. She said, Sunday, I'm going home. Like, God has spoken, and it is time for me to go.
So when the nurse says she's been gone for 8 minutes, the room that's full of joy and song and spending those last moments with her, how did it change?
You know what? We all were kind of like, well, there's a moment that happened that I don't recall, right? My husband, he recalls it. He says, I started to speak a different language. And apparently maybe that's when she had crossed over. We all rejoiced.
Were there tears?
Absolutely. Yeah. We rejoiced, but we cried. But you know, when you have, when somebody's diagnosed with a terminal disease, while they're alive, the grieving starts.
Yeah.
You start to grieve immediately because you know it's coming. You know it's coming.
But when, I understand that, my grandmother slowly, dissolved. Dissolved, that sounds like a peel or something, but
I'll understand though.
Okay, good.
Yes. Yeah.
With dementia and progressively she finally died. And the whole time I think it would be better if she were not here and we're home with the Lord. Take her, Lord. And then when she was gone, I could not take it.
Yeah.
So I guess people just handle it differently because you think one thing, but then when that thing happens, it's not really what you thought. I was like, please bring her back.
Yeah. There's one thing to be prepared, there's another thing to be ready.
I don't know the difference. I don't think any of us know the difference, do we?
Because you can prepare for, it's like preparing for anything.
For a test.
Anything, okay. Right? And some people study and prepare for a test, but see, when it's time to do the test, they get nervous. Like, even you ain't all the way ready as you thought you would be.
Right.
Like, there's still emotion that comes with it. I feel the same way about death. Like, sometimes sometimes we get an opportunity to prepare, but you're never really ready.
Yeah.
You're never really ready.
Yeah.
Right?
Makes perfect sense.
Because some people, they get hit by a car and it's instant. They get shot, something like they are instantly killed.
Yeah.
No preparation. So it's like a shock. Now you trying to process what just happened, where when somebody is sick over time, they're dying. Okay, it's a little easier to digest.
Right, because the day is nearing.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But me and you talking right now, and if I walked out here and something happened, you'd be like,
I was just talking to her.
Exactly.
About death.
Exactly.
Yeah, that would be
right.
wild.
And for me, I'm one of those weird people because my mama was a hospice volunteer. She was passionate about elderly people. She made me talk about death at a very young age. I've dreamt of dead people since I was a child. So I'm very
like the
comfortable.
movie My Girl.
Oh, wait, have I ever seen that?
Oh, you gotta.
From back in the 80s?
From back in, yes, My Girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's been my life. So I'm, I say it's weird, but I'm very comfortable with death.
Yeah.
I understand it differently than most people.
So I hear you say that you learned from your mom about your assignment. And one of the reasons why I wanted you on this podcast, Tabitha, not because I genuinely like you and we know each other and we both, got those Greensboro ties.
Yeah.
But also because your perception, and it may be your reality as well, is that you're happy all the time. Even when you're reading people. You reading people and you just happy and smiling. You the best reader ever. Baby, designing women and them Golden Girls ain't got nothing on your reads because they didn't recognize the happy reads. So you got some happy reads, honey.
Yeah.
So, so I'm listening to you and I'm thinking, you must have gotten that from your mother. So I want to ask, between the moment and the time of your mother's death, what and how, and you mentioned one of the things that is different about you that you acknowledge and recognize is that you intentionally try not to people please anymore. But what do you think changed your life after the death of Miss Patricia?
More compassion, more patience, more grace with people and myself. Even though it still took me a while to get to my own freedom, right? I still, what I took from her is that we all have work to do here. We're all here on a special assignment. And if we do it well, we get to leave well, like full of joy and happy.
You said you learned what your assignment was through your mom. What is your assignment?
Well,
or is that our business?
Well, no, I learned that was her. I learned that we're all here on assignment, right? My assignment, I had not discovered yet then, right? I know now my assignment is to walk as a proud, free woman so other women can do the same.
What's proud and free?
Who I am, Tab, who no longer conforms. I don't code switch. I don't dress a certain way. I live my life completely free. I don't cover my accent no more. I am exactly who I am sitting here. Right. If I'm in a boardroom, if I'm at the White House, if I'm at my kids' school, at the I'm always the same. And for a long time, I didn't do that.
Right.
I conformed. And that's a different form of slavery.
I think we all conform, especially Black people.
Absolutely.
That is what we do. It's a mechanism for survival.
Yeah, because our ancestors did it to survive.
Yeah.
But they did it to survive so that we wouldn't have to.
So why are we doing it?
Why are we because
why are we conforming?
They weren't free.
Right.
Right? They also had higher stipulations to survive, to get home, to stay safe. There are still, unfortunately, some of those circumstances. But we are enough.
Yeah.
Just as we are.
We are enough.
I think we have several different assignments, all of us, and gifts. But I do believe that is one of my assignments is to embrace freedom wholeheartedly and do all the things that God has called me to do in business, in the art, industry, as myself. So somebody else watching can be like, wait a minute, so I ain't got to change who I am to do this? No, you don't.
I remember you did a very lengthy post about not doing what other people wanted you to do. I'm not sure what the circumstance was around that, but I just remember it was a very long post about not compromising who you are. Is that something you would have, is that a post, would that have been something that you felt before your mother died, or is that something that has happened as you developed?
It happened after my sickness, right? So after my mama passed, I was even more so conforming after she passed.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, because my thought was, I moved to LA to pursue acting. And I left my mama. I would go home for weeks and months at a time to help take care of her, but I always have to come back. So I wasn't there 24 hours with her like I wish I could have been.
Right.
And so my thought was, I gotta make it. My mama done died, and I wasn't there for her every single day. I gotta go out here and do this so my mama's death ain't in vain. That's how I was thinking. And that meant I gotta make sure these people like me.
Right. So I gotta do what they say.
I gotta fit in. I gotta walk the walk. I gotta talk the talk. And I did. I came back, and that's back when Blockbuster was a thing, and Redbox. I had like 5 movies go straight to DVD in 2 years. I was like, okay.
Yeah, they've been pulling up some of them lately.
Girl, yeah. I might have made $700. Okay.
Right.
But I did all of that, and I call those my small victories. But I had to learn after being sick, when I got to that dark place, God had to deal with me on that. And the thing that he gave me was, he said, I can't bless who you're not. I can only bless who you are. And who you've created, that's not who you are.
Okay. Okay.
And once I surrendered and said, okay, I'm going to be who you created me to be, my whole world changed.
Yeah, let's sit in that one. Do you remember the first time you smiled after your sickness?
The first time, because I did a lot of fake smiling while I was sick.
Yeah, we talking about the authentic ones.
I may have smiled that day in the kitchen when I realized my headache was gone. Because I couldn't believe it. I laughed. Because my thought was, I know good and well, me not eating no meat, Jesus. That got rid of this headache. Almost like you laugh like, nah, I know this ain't it.
Right.
Right?
This all I had to do.
Right.
Going to all these doctors and neurologists and
you
prescriptions.
start thinking like, am I tripping?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But, yeah. Yeah.
Would that have been also the first time that you were happy after the sickness?
I was still sick, so I wasn't necessarily happy in the moment because I was still hopeful.
Mm-hmm.
I
So
think
when
that
was the first time that you were happy?
The first time I think that I was probably, it was during that time, maybe within that last week of the 30 days, because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna die. I think I figured it out. Like, Lord, is this it, Lord? Like, is this the journey? You know?
Yeah.
And just being able to not fall asleep while because this used to be the routine when I was on disability. I would get up, because my husband had to go to work early, so I'd have to still take my kids to school. And when I would come home, I'd set my alarm and go to sleep until it was time to pick them up. That's how bad the chronic fatigue was. Some days I could get up and do some stuff. Like, Nick, he would try to get me out of the house. I'd be like, you know what? I feel like I can go, like, we can go walking today.
Right.
And I would get to his house, and I'd be like, I just need a few minutes. And I'd fall asleep on his couch, and it'd be 2-3 hours, and he would just let me sleep.
Yeah.
But I think realizing that, I don't feel tired, that made me happy. Like, I got energy for my kids today that I don't have to force. That made me happy, you know? Yeah.
Yeah. What has been one of the happiest moments in your life?
Giving birth to my children, celebrating 20 years with my husband.
All right now, you better let the world know, honey.
And that's a fact. Because baby, there was many times the truth is, like, sometimes you don't know if you're gonna make it.
No, you don't know.
You don't. And many didn't. And many don't.
And many won't.
Right. Exactly. And that's their business, okay?
That's their business,
but
baby.
we have.
Yes.
And I love that. And it excites me and it makes me happy. And you know what? And buying my daddy a truck.
I saw that on social media.
Baby,
That was beautiful.
That day was just to see him.
Daddy was happy.
In shock.
Yes.
My daddy had worked 48 years, missed 12 days of work, and never bought himself a brand new car. Ever. Bought my mama one, bought his wife one, my stepmama. Never ever for himself. And to do that for my daddy and to see the joy. Girl, you could have bought me for a penny.
He's still driving that truck?
Yes, he better.
I know he is.
Absolutely, he love that truck.
So we're going to do a rapid fire for you.
Yes.
What is your happy meal?
Oh, my happy meal is a French fry.
Is it really?
I love a French fry. I get it from my mama. My mama's favorite thing was potatoes. She said she loved potatoes so much she would give them up for Lent every year. She said, no, nobody love potatoes this much. Girl, I love a French fry. I love a French fry.
Who has your favorite French fry?
Del Taco.
I agree. The crinkly fries.
Baby, you mix that ketchup with that mild and a little bit of the black pack, baby.
The crinkly.
And that's my business.
Yes.
Okay, I eat healthy all the time. If I want a French fry, I can have it. And that's my business.
Your happy place.
Home. It's my happy place. Home on my couch with a little glass of wine. Getting on my husband's nerve, trying to put my foot under his leg. It is. I love it. I love it.
Your happy song.
I get joy when I think about what he's done for me. That's my song.
What is done for me?
You know, come on.
Yeah. Okay, here's a good one. I like this one for you. Happy outfit.
Oh, girl, now this is probably the most plain that you ever have seen me. I love color. I love like patterns. I love polka dots. I'm looking at your shoes like, girl, I love them polka dots. I love a good pair of bell bottoms. I love fashion.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
You know, I do.
That's why I'm like, this is your question right here.
Right. So, it's hard because but I love comfort. I be cute and comfortable. I used to wear the heels and stuff, but I got an old bad hip. Come on. Dude, got to have surgery next month. Jesus, I do.
Look, when you got a bad hip,
okay.
Yeah, time is creeping up on you, honey.
Yeah.
Time is creeping.
Like, Lord, I got to have surgery in December.
Sound like you can't drop it like it's hot either.
I can't. If I do, it's definitely bringing it up slow. Okay, let me tell you that.
I think I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask anyway. I think all y'all know the answer to this question.
Okay.
Your happy homie.
My happy homie, my husband, my daughter, choice, my daddy. I got right many of them, don't I? And Nick, we cut up.
Yeah, you
bad.
and Nick Few. Shouts out to Nick Few.
Yes, yeah.
Your happy show. Happy show.
The Cosby Show.
Yeah.
I still love it. Yeah.
I watch reruns of the Cosby Show all the time. Everybody does.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man,
it was so good.
This was a good show.
It was so good. It also taught me to dream.
Oh.
It taught me to dream.
How so?
Because I remember, first of all, we watched it every Thursday as a family. We would go eat at Mayflower. Remember Mayflower? Go eat at Mayflower.
Love Mayflower, baby.
Fried
I think
fish
Mayflower there no more.
It ain't. Baby, it sailed on. It left with the Pilgrims, honey.
Goodbye.
She gone, girl. She gone.
Fred no Mayflower. Fred no Mayflower.
Living Hill and Mayflower, baby. That's it.
Stop it.
Come on. So we would go, and then at 8 o'clock, we would all watch together as family. And I remember, I probably was maybe 5, and I remember telling my mama, I want to be Rudy Friend in the TV. And she said, oh, you want to be Rudy Friend? And I was trying to explain to her, no, only in the TV, and then I want to come home. I was trying to tell her I want to do what she's doing.
Oh, okay. I'm
she
like,
said,
you want to get in the TV?
She said, that means you want to be an actress. And I was like, oh. That was when I learned what it was to be an actress.
Right.
And so I spent the rest of my life trying to pursue the thing that Rudy did. I remember going to school. I had a music teacher named Miss Stanley. Went to school that next day and said, Miss Stanley, I want to be an actress. So when we have a play, I want to be an actress in the play. And that's how I started doing theater and everything.
Okay. Well, can you sing too?
Well, I don't know if that's what we call it.
Oh, okay. You like your daddy. You sing like your daddy.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I was in the choir. The Lord always put a song in my spirit, okay? And that's my business, okay? But I ain't gonna cut no records, but I might.
You might?
Because I can. If I want to. And that's my business.
Okay. All right now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What's your happy color?
Oh, green, but I also like purple. Yeah.
Green is oftentimes associated with envy. So why green?
Really? I don't know about this color green. Kelly green is the color.
Kelly green.
So Kelly green is like...
Yeah, that's like
it's a bright green.
Yeah, bright green.
It just looks so happy, but also it's like when you see vegan restaurants, it be everywhere. It's like it represents life and love, right? Yeah. And then purple is royalty, my birthstone, but it was also my mama's favorite color.
When is your birthday?
February 4th.
February 1st.
Come on. I should have knew you was an Aquarius.
Yeah.
It's that energy. Yeah. We're creatives.
We are. We're very creative, but also sensitive. I don't know if you sensitive. I'm extremely sensitive.
I'm not.
But I'm rough. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hide it.
I am, I guess, not necessarily sensitive, but I feel more like, like an empath, I guess. but it don't take, like, my feelings don't hurt easy. Because I also, it could be just because of the place I am in my life, but I don't be caring what people think no more.
Oh, I definitely feel that way.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that
And
way.
then that's also come with age.
Baby,
I ain't got time to be
that
worried
come
about
with that
you.
bad hip.
Come on.
Right there.
I done carried y'all problems too long. My hip is hurt.
Right.
I can't do that no more.
I can't do it no more.
I can't do it no more, girl. Yeah,
hip ain't
absolutely.
working like it used to. I
Yeah.
gotta let y'all and your problems go.
Got to. Yeah.
What would make you happy today, right here, right now? If the happy gods came down and said, I want to give you something to make you happy right now, what would it be?
Oh, a conversation with my mom. Conversation with my mama. Where she could actually respond back. Because I talk to her all the time. But just one little, little conversation.
Well, Tabitha Brown, thank you for making me happy in this moment by having a conversation with you.
Well, thank you.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
Tabitha
you.
Brown.